Okay, welcome everyone. It has been 3 months since we did our previous podcast. I think it was in November, so it's been quite a while. It's been a long 3 months. We've got a lot of things going on the channel and a lot of things also going on here at iTechTriad. But today we're going to be talking about some interesting subjects, and I've got Ben and Andrew with me. How are you guys doing today?
Awesome. I'm doing good.
You're doing good. I know you're dodoing good because of that Red Nexus 5.
Yes. So let's start off with that.
Oh yeah, let's get right into that. So Red Nexus 5 dropped today. What do you guys think about it?
I think it looks beautiful, but it's still not on Verizon, so I still can't get it.
Yeah, it probably is never going to be on Verizon. Verizon's one of those
I know.
companies. That just stinks. That's a big pain. But I think it looks. Me personally, if I had not gotten the Nexus 5 when it came out originally, I would have gone with the red one probably. I'm stuck between the red and the black.
Yeah, and then if a blue one comes out, you're going to freak out on that, which you never know. We saw leaks of that.
Yeah.
Ooh, and there might be a gold one.
No.
It's one of those things
That's
where
like yellow and orange.
it's one of those things where the design, no matter what it is, it's still a good design and a good phone. It looks beautiful in whatever color, black, white, red. It still looks pretty amazing.
Yellow would actually kind of still look cool.
I don't know. That's a little too bright for me. I think it looks gorgeous in red. I think
Black
blue
and yellow.
I would actually get.
Is this
You really just went there.
black and yellow? Yes, I did just go there with it, but I hate the Steelers, so we're not going to talk about that. So
Okay, let's move on.
that's the red and wait, the price of course still the same. 32.
Yeah, it's still the same. Everything's still the same. It's just red now.
Different color. It's red. So Mr. MKBHD will be going crazy because of course now it's red and black. So
I give it a week until he posts that somewhere.
unless he does overnight shipping.
Okay, so it'll be like what in the morning?
Yeah, morning. See him already post it.
Yeah, he's already putting stuff up about it.
Yeah, I
on
could
Google Plus.
imagine. Yeah, I could only imagine. Okay, so on to our next subject. Ben, take it away.
So next we're gonna go into the Galaxy S5. And that's gonna be an impressive phone. That's all I have to say on that.
I just hope they ditch the plastic. And not ditch the plastic, but ditch the cheap plastic. The type that...
Which I hope LG does with the G3 too, because the only thing I have bad to say about my G2 is it's actually worse than the Galaxy S4.
Really? See, I haven't used the S4 too much. I still had the same cheap plastic feel. Like the S3 is the worst, though.
You haven't felt my G2 yet.
The G2 is even worse, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I hope they get rid of that cheap plastic. I mean, do you think... What I'm wondering is, will they go for that kind of that fake leather like they did with the Note 3?
I can almost guarantee it.
Which
I love it. I felt the Note 3, it feels great, especially in black. White, not as much, but black feels incredible.
Which I love it too, but I would like to see... I don't know, still, the thing is, like the S4, the S3 to the S4 kind of had the almost same design, a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a complete redesign as it comes to...
For me, if they make it look more like the Note 3, it's going to be great.
It'll be great. Yeah, so it's interesting.
Andrew, what do you think?
Honestly, they're moving that direction anyways. It seems like, they're going to learn from their mistakes, hopefully, and I'm looking forward to whatever it looks like, whatever it is, just to, see and feel, So
yeah,
I'm pretty excited about it.
Which I'm looking forward to the new TouchWiz from the leaks we've seen. It looks like an improvement from TouchWiz we have now. TouchWiz is still TouchWiz, but if those leaks are true, it looks a little more intriguing, I think, because really with the S5, of course, you have all the features that Samsung brings, but I would find myself as soon as possible rooting it and putting in CyanogenMod. Just because of the fact
not that you're going to be able to. I mean, think about it. It took them, 3 or 4 months at least to get CyanogenMod for the Note 3, so it's going to take a while to get it for the S5, especially because I guarantee that thing is going to ship with a locked-down bootloader like something like Motorola would do.
Yeah, what's funny though? For me, that's not too long because we're used to now having to wait 7-8 months for a jailbreak on iOS. which takes a while. And Ben, your dog is making noise. Is that Boozer?
I'm gonna let him out real quick.
Yeah.
So you guys take it away for a minute.
Ben's dog is an interesting fellow. Anyway, that's off subject. But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit of metal thrown into the S5. Just give it a premium feel.
Yeah. Kind of aluminum, you know.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes in Apple's direction. What
Yeah.
they're doing, we don't know what they're doing, honestly.
It's all over the place. It's one of those things that you just really don't find out till they announce.
Yeah.
But see, like I got the
didn't-
HTC One, and that phone is just design-wise. See, I'm a sucker for good hardware, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's good except
Yeah.
for the buttons. Oh, those buttons.
Yeah, the buttons are.
Yeah, I kind of want to see them do what they did with Moto X in a way.
Mhm.
The plastic on the Moto X, it's a pretty good plastic. It's comfortable, but it feels durable. And they could add like a mix between plastic plus metal, kind of give it that industrial kind of feel.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Which actually I know this is kind of off the subject, but what I wanted to talk about was the new HTC One, whatever it's going to be called.
All right. Well, before we get to that, we'll go to that in just a second. But Galaxy S5, we're going to find out about it February 24th. They're having an event during MWC, which will be live streamed. And I don't know. You guys want to do a live blog on that?
As long as they don't bore me with their corny shows.
If they do that again, I'm leaving. I don't even care.
I'll just go watch Disney Channel. I think I'll be better off.
Hey, you didn't even watch it live last year.
I saw some of the clips, and
Oh my word. But
it was like watching the first episode of the first season of Doctor Who. It was off in 5 minutes.
Shut up! I like that episode.
It was sad. I mean, man, you could probably Shia LaBeouf now. Like he's an all-right actor. He could probably do better acting. It was Samsung just stick to regular Keynote. They need to just stick to regular Keynote. Just go out and say, hey, here's the Galaxy S5. Go buy it, because that's what people are doing.
Especially our favorite troll over on Google+.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy.
But the HTC One, I kind of want to talk about this real quick.
Well, spec-wise on the Galaxy S5 real quick. Snapdragon 805, 3 gigs of RAM, 16 megapixel camera, and 5.25-inch 2K display. Can you imagine looking at that?
That's borderline tablet. It's getting there.
Not really. My G2 has a 5.2, and it's a good size. I like it.
And any bigger, it could be a tablet. Honestly, almost. It's getting there.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. Half of me will end up kind of enjoying wanting to maybe pick up an S5, and then the other half of me is just be like, I don't know. Samsung needs to fix some things. Let's see what they do. Which that kind of again leads into this. What I wanted to talk about. If you look at the new HTC One and then the Galaxy S5, if you hear what Samsung and Google, they kind of been talking about how Android should look, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen the rumors with the new HTC One, they've also been saying that HTC was going for a more stock look.
That was on a budget phone, I think.
It was.
And honestly, I hated that.
Really? The fact that it looked
more like stock, but it looked more like stock combined. It was just a bad combination. I actually really like HTC skin. It's very clean. It's very nice. I don't like their settings menu very much, but their skin is relatively nice.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
I think the only two skins I've ever liked were HTC's, and believe it or not, I know someone's going to freak out about this. The skin on the G2 was not bad. I was shocked. I actually liked it.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I've used other skins before. For me, the worst was just TouchWiz. That was the one that
was pretty bad.
I mean, like you have, for example, an app that you downloaded. It sometimes will be in the download, or sometimes it will be in the apps folder.
Yeah.
But it will take forever to find. And then settings, they switched the settings for 4.3, and then they added all these tabs, and it got so confusing. It's just like, oh, it makes you want to pull out your hair. But what I'm kind of noticing, I don't know, this is just speculation, but is Google maybe getting on to these companies saying, look, you guys are getting way too far away from, I hit my mic there, you're getting too far away from what Android should be, and kind of maybe more tightening up the corners?
Well, I think they need to do that. I don't know how far they can go because it's still an open source platform. Basically, Google has no control over what these manufacturers can do to Android. The only thing they can say is, look, you can use Android all you want, but if you change it too much, you're not going to be able to use Google Play.
Yeah, which I think bravo to Google in doing that, because if not, these companies will just get so whack with Android, and then I think, in reality, I think that's what fuels your Apple fanboys or your Android haters. They don't look at the stock, but they look at, I'm just using Samsung as an experience here. They still, they have their great features and all, but they might be like, well, look at the Galaxy S5. It's so confusing, or this or that. But they're not looking at the real Android for what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's what could probably cause, the Android kind of market to probably maybe fall because of that. Because Google likes being in control, whereas, their developers are working on great software, great specs, and they don't want other companies to kind of draw away from that. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm glad Google's starting to kind of crack down on that, because if not, these companies they'll take Android and they'll just make it into not their own, but I could see them taking it to the fact of where you can't even recognize that it is Android because of how bad they would just pick everything out. So I'm glad to see Google doing that, but kind of steering back to the HTC One, I'm really hoping we see those soft keys.
You have no idea how much I want to see that. The only thing, if it does have soft keys, I'm almost going to be mad because I can't get it.
Because from what we're hearing, we could see the soft keys. Hopefully, like I've got my HTC One here, the lock and unlock button, I hope they move it to the right-hand side of the device, and the volume button needs to be moved up because it's kind of in a weird position.
It needs work.
And then the charging port needs to be in the middle, not all the way to the right.
That was the weirdest thing. I have no idea why they did that.
I mean, it kind of gets annoying, but I think rumors for that might be next month. Is it, Ben, for the
release date? I've heard several things. I mean, most of there hasn't been much about the release date. I think I saw sometime in March.
Okay.
And it's going to have pretty good specs. I think the one thing that I saw that a lot of people overseas are going to like is that it's supposed to have a dual SIM variant.
Ooh.
At launch. Yeah. The HTC One didn't have that at launch, but the new one it's codenamed M8. I'm going to say it's supposed to have dual SIM at launch, that's going to be nice for people overseas.
Yeah, that will be definitely very good. So, okay, for now, kind of changing directions, the Chromecast.
The Chromecast, where do you start?
Now, I don't use Chromecast very much. I have to, but
yes,
that is right down your alley.
Okay, so Chromecast, I've actually got mine plugged into my TV, going through the beautiful wallpapers they have all the time. But Chromecast, everyone knows what it is. It's a $35 streaming dongle. It's awesome. But they finally released the Chromecast SDK, or Software Development Kit, if you don't know what that means. So developers can optimize their apps and their websites for the Chromecast and add the cast button without having to team up with Google. That's what they were doing beforehand. Now anyone can do it. But
so that's going to open up a lot.
It's going to be awesome. Actually, in less than 24 hours, the developer, I never pronounce his name right, so I'm going to try it. Anyone who knows what I'm talking about is going to know it right away. He developed an app called Allcast when Chromecast first released, as a way to stream your local content to Chromecast. Mm-hmm. But a software update on the Chromecast actually killed it off. And he couldn't get it fixed because they didn't have the SDK out. Now they got the SDK out. He fixed the app and added that back within 24 hours.
Wow, so he's back on it with that.
So and I tried it out this morning. I didn't get to try it with anything long. I just tried it with a Spider-Man trailer that I downloaded, and it worked. It worked great. So.
Yeah, I'm really, at first when I remember it was June, when they announced the Chromecast. I remember thinking, I'm like, where are they going with this? And then after finally kind of digesting what had just happened, I was like, wow, that was genius.
Yeah, you gotta get one, because I know I got a second one here at my house for my family. We got a second one for the living room.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get one for the living room because finally the Roku box passed away. Sad moment. No, really, that thing was. I got that maybe it's been less than a year and it just died, which that really doesn't happen a lot with products I buy. So I found that very interesting.
I'm shocked. Like this Chromecast, I have it going like 24/7. I'm shocked nothing's wrong with it. Especially when we did the review for it, Alex almost broke it.
I did. I don't even remember what I did.
Yes, you did. I didn't tell you because I was mad.
That's right.
The HDMI port got all tilted and I was freaking out. I didn't want it to break because I just got it.
I have a ghetto flat screen TV. I'll call it ghetto. It's only 20-something inch, but yeah, it kind of.
Yeah, no, he bought it at Goodwill.
Yeah, that's what I call it. Ghetto TV. Hey, it was $70 brand new. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
If I see technology cheap, I'm gone. But,
as long as it's not in the winter when you have no money.
Yeah, well, in the winter I do my things.
Do your things.
I do my things, but yeah. So as it comes to the Chromecast, it's going to be interesting to see the future with that. I really see that. I'm still waiting for. It seems like the Chromecast. I don't know what it is. It's like I guess Apple has just completely taken not taken over. What's the word I'm looking for? They've drowned people with the Apple TV. I'm waiting for this thing to just because it is a device that should be selling records, and I still think it is.
Well, it actually is. It's still the #1 seller in streaming devices, which includes the Roku and the Apple TV and all those other streaming devices. It's still the #1 seller, and it has been since the day it released.
Okay, good, because that thing.
It actually sold out in less than 10 minutes on it.
Yeah, because $35 to be able, the $35 alone is just worth for the streaming of Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, I literally bought it within, I think, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's like
I had to get my hands on that.
I mean, you could use a Wii because now the face value of a Wii is $5, but Chromecast is still. I mean,
it's easier.
Exactly. You don't have this huge box sitting on your wherever your TV is sitting. You don't have this huge box next to it. I mean, some of us have game consoles and different things like that, but for those who don't, it's perfect. You plug it into the back of your TV. It's out of sight, and you can use your device to control it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So that I'm interested to see now how it's more open to see what we'll see coming onto Chromecast in the future. So
okay, so then speaking of things that are open, the Pebble, the App Store for the Pebble just opened, and that is really exciting.
Ooh, I've been wanting one of those for a while. I saw that about a month ago, and it was like, it's funny. The Pebble, I don't know what it was. It's like, at first when I saw the Pebble, I was kind of like, cool. I guess I wasn't too crazy about wearables until just recently.
You didn't really think much about it. You're like, something else. I bet you were probably thinking something as along the lines as, oh look, that previous. Before this generation of Nano, oh look, another Nano you can stick on your watch. Were you kind of thinking about something like that?
Yep.
Or farther?
Pretty much. That's how it was. It was just kind of like, it was one of those things that I really didn't see. Like, I guess the fact of I wasn't as educated on it, but also, I'm thinking like when I think smartwatch, I'm thinking you're doing all this crazy things with it. And then when I see the features of the Pebble, the simplicity of it, the price of it, I'm like, okay, I think I'm liking this. And then just recently, it's just been one of those devices I'm like, I think I want to get my hands on it. Because before, for those of you who've listened to the podcast before, I wasn't too crazy on wearables. And I think the Galaxy Gear had a lot to do with that. Because when I saw the Galaxy Gear, I was one of those that I was not sold on it. Price.
I would love to know who was sold on that.
Some people now are because of the update, but still the fact is like
even the update wasn't really that good.
Yeah, I mean $300, right? $299. Correct me if I'm wrong. For
$299. Supposedly a price cut coming soon because the Galaxy Gear 2 is supposed to release with the S5 at the end of the month.
Yeah, but by the end of the
6
year,
months after the first one.
yeah, and by the end of the year, knowing Samsung, we'll have the Galaxy Gear 50. But it's like, the fact is, it wasn't waterproof, so it's like
Not even close to waterproof.
exactly. So it's like sometimes when I have a watch on, you don't think you're washing your hands. That could be it for your Galaxy Gear, just like that. Simple as that. You forget while you're washing your hands. Because the thing is, your phone, you don't have it near water, but your hand gets close to water, especially your wrist. But the Pebble, it is waterproof to a certain amount, right?
No, you could actually go swimming with a Pebble on.
And that's the difference. It's like, okay,
Not very long, but you could.
but in case something happens, you fall in, you get out quick, your Pebble's fine. You fall in, your Gear's done.
Yeah, because basically the Gear is an Android device that's really tiny, with a even worse interface than TouchWiz.
And the camera, I mean, I don't know why they even decided to put a camera on that. I mean,
they're going back to one of those little kids' spy watches.
Exactly, yes. And it's like
with a little spy recorder,
Yeah, and then they're saying that Google Glass could have security issues, privacy issues. How about the watch? Because
I don't know. With the watch, it's a little more obvious because you're not exactly going to hold your hand up to your chest like that. Glass, I think the thing about Glass is I don't understand why it's a security issue when you can only record for, I think, someone's probably got to correct me on this. I got to ask somebody who has Glass. I think you can only record for like 15 seconds at a time, and then you have to click the button to extend it.
Yeah, and I think it's like up to a minute, right?
Yeah, no, you can go as long as your memory and battery will let you, but you have to keep clicking the button. So, I mean, eventually it's going to be pretty obvious.
Yeah, so it's like, for example, movie theater, I don't know where it was in Arizona, where someone got literally arrested by the FBI because they were using glass. They were wearing glass in the movie theater.
It was off.
I mean, come on.
It was off.
Who is going to... I mean, nobody's going to even watch it if the guy was recording it because you probably couldn't even tell the movie was on.
Yeah, I mean, plus the battery, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if the battery would continuously record for that long.
I
don't think it... Because recording, I know, really kills the battery. I know taking pictures and just general use, that thing will get you through a day, but if you're recording something or actually using apps, it's going to die pretty quick.
And no one really like Alex said, no one really wants to watch a video that's, where you're kind of like moving around the whole time. It looks like someone's just recording it from their phone.
Exactly. But, it's like, it's one of those things like, going back to the Gear, I don't know, Samsung, with the new one, they're going to have to completely, I would redo it. Yeah, it
needs some work.
It does.
Well, the thing with Pebble, that they might change this. Maybe the software and specs don't allow it. But the thing is with the Pebble is you can only have, I think, about 8 apps on it at once.
I think so. I know it doesn't have much memory.
They do have a feature. It's called Locker. It allows you to keep all these apps on your phone, in case you want to just easily, a few minutes, you'll just install it right back on there. But I think you can only have up to 8. I know if I were to get it, I would definitely want to have a bunch of different apps on there, so I'd be constantly switching. But I think they made a smart move with the iOS app. They're supposed to come out, they said, very, very soon.
I think the Android app it's ready. I think they're just doing the final testing on it, so it'll be available probably by the end of this week.
Because I don't think they would release an iOS app and then, wait a month to release an Android app. The same thing, people would kind of get mad. But I'm excited for that, to get my hands on it if I can eventually.
Yeah, I'm hoping by the spring, hopefully get my hands on it. And that's the thing, though. The price is like, it's a good price. That's another thing. Like, going back to the Gear, I'm not going to pay $300 for a watch. I will not pay $300 for a watch. I'm sorry for that.
I don't think I've ever spent more than $30 on a watch.
Exactly, yeah. So why am I going to pay $300 for a watch that really isn't going to benefit me that much? Yes, you have these great features, but the fact is, a little bit of water, it's done. At least with the Pebble, I look at it, great features, great design, and it's at a great price. And you have waterproof to it.
I'm just like thinking right now in my head, if I had a Pebble, I could be in my room doing my schoolwork, writing articles, something like that, with my phone on my nightstand, Chromecasting music, and I could switch the music from my watch. That just popped in my head. That's kind of awesome. Just when you think about it.
Yeah, that would make me use a wearable, a smartwatch or wearables. Before I was like, I looked, and that's my mistake of looking at the Galaxy Gear as a smartwatch industry. I'm like, if this is a smartwatch industry, smartwatches are not going to do good.
Mm-mm.
Which I still kind of wonder, and this now kind of going into our next subject with the iWatch, I wonder, it's like one of those rumors you always hear, we're going to see an iWatch, this company's working on a smartwatch. But I find it interesting how yet time passes by and we haven't seen anyone else really get aggressive in the smartwatch other than Pebble. It really seems like it's just Pebble and Samsung.
It's those smaller companies. I don't know if Pebble's necessarily a smaller company, but
yeah, definitely.
The best things come from them because they're focusing all their time and energy on one specific device, and those devices are usually the best made and the best quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's probably what makes Pebble really good, and people probably like it because of that.
Yep, and that's why I wonder, will we ever see smartwatches that'll come from the likes of Google and Apple?
Honestly, I'm doubting Google will release one because of glass.
Right, yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like, and then Apple, and you can already hear my voice with the sigh. I love Apple. I love Apple, don't get me wrong. But ever since Steve Jobs has died, I don't see them taking the big steps necessary.
Mm-hmm.
They just, and I don't know if it's Tim Cook, it probably is, but I don't see that aggressive movement by Apple. They kind of seem to have just slowed down.
Laid back a little.
Exactly.
Because Steve Jobs, he was extremely on top of things. He was, he had strong opinions about what kind of things they didn't want to do and what kind of things they did want to do. I forget what it was, but he was talking about how he wasn't going to start this specific type of software or specific type of device, just for the reasons because they didn't want to get off track. They wanted to stay focused on what they were doing and trying to improve it as much as possible.
Yep, that was the iPad Mini and the iPhone 5C was completely against what Steve Jobs would have.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and iOS 7 probably was too.
Oh, I would love to just be in a room and see Steve Jobs' reaction to iOS 7.
I would love to see his reaction to the HON on the back of the iPhone 5C case.
Oh man, yeah. And the iPhone 5C.
If he would have seen that, he would have just shot himself.
Yeah. Oh no, he would have. Everyone would have been fired. Apple would be just Steve Jobs, and he'd probably have to call up Steve Wozniak.
That'd actually be kind of awesome.
It would be funny. The only one there that I could just see sticking around is Johnny Ive, because even though he was a creator of iOS 7 hardware-wise, he's good. He's good. But they should not let him. They should have left. I don't know. See, Forrestal was taking small steps too, though. So it's like, what do you do? But as it comes to Apple, let me put it this way: if Apple made a smartwatch, smartwatches would then be booming like crazy. Simple as that. I could see it. I could see it because look at it this way: the tablet industry. People were laughing. They were like, "A tablet? What? Are you stupid?" And look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The tablet industry took off just because Apple was aggressive. When Apple isn't aggressive, they don't do good, and
that's why they are where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, you were about to say. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
But if Apple wasn't aggressive, yeah, they wouldn't be where they are. Mm-hmm. They would maybe be behind Android. I think people have their opinions. I can't necessarily. The facts and the polls say Apple is ahead, but I'm not necessarily positive. If I think Android, Apple, all these companies put together, they have their ups and downs, their pros and cons, and they're all kind of working to try to be the best, be on top. And I just hope, you probably do too, Alex, we just hope that they kind of stay on, or Apple tries to, improve what they have now, and not necessarily focus on what other companies are doing necessarily, or what they're putting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, I think if they just focus on their iPhones, tablets, and computers, definitely, then they'd be able
to kind of get that back.
rise. You know.
And the thing was the lack of them being aggressive. Let me put it this way: if Apple wasn't aggressive in the beginning, they would be BlackBerry. What BlackBerry is now. Honestly speaking, though, they would be.
I guess the screen was almost the same size for a long time.
Exactly. They would be. iMessage would be available on Google Play. It would be available on all platforms.
Honestly, I wish it was.
I do too, because I like iMessage.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. It's like Apple is not aggressive. The iPhone 5S, to me, that was the least aggressive I have seen them.
Yeah.
Especially the 5C.
And the 5C was just that was the icing on the cake of the unaggressive cake.
It was a colorful icing on the cake.
Yeah, I was just like iOS 7 was the color of that cake.
Now, if you were to compare, I guess you could say it was customization in a way, that compared to the Moto X. I know I'm kind of getting off topic, but I like how they let you design more and get more in depth compared to Apple's. You know, here's a few colors, take it, and I like the 5C. It felt really plasticky to me. It felt like one of those Barbie phones you would get from Target.
That's the best description of the iPhone 5C I've ever.
You know what I mean?
That is hilarious. My sister bought the iPhone 5C, and excuse any guys if you're watching this and you have an iPhone 5C. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know.
And that's before he's even said it.
That's no offense. No offense. There's no offense there. You know, you might have lost your man card, but no offense. No, I'm joking. Because I almost picked up an iPhone 5C just for the fact of
reviewing it.
Yeah, reviewing, and I don't like iOS on tablet at all.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it doesn't feel like a phone anymore. It doesn't feel like Apple.
It feels like a phone, but it feels like a Galaxy S3.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Apple. If Apple were to feel like
rephrase that, a tiny Galaxy S3.
Ooh.
Yeah, if Apple were to feel like something, it would definitely be like aluminum, metal,
glass.
Not necessarily big. Yeah, it's got those things, you know. Android and Galaxy, they're going along the lines of, you know, plastic. I don't necessarily want them to stay along those lines.
Yeah.
Because I know, you know, we're starting to get to the metal, or not thick metals, but like a light metal, like aluminum.
Yeah, like
I like the feels of those, you know.
Yeah.
Plastic plus metal, you know, where it counts. You got grip strength. There's just a bunch of factors that go into it.
Yeah, and you know what? There was one thing I've never mentioned. This kind of hit me. You know what Apple should have done with the 5C? They should have made it. I know this might sound stupid, but make it the iPhone 6C. You know what I mean? Like in plastic. What I mean, have the specs of the iPhone 5S, and some people might agree with this, add NFC. They could have added NFC with the iPhone 5C.
The advantage of the plastic is the fact that now they can use things like NFC and all that other stuff, depending on where they put it.
And I don't think they will, though. That's just the thing. I don't think they will, because that was all lost with Steve Jobs. The aggressive approach was all lost, and that's why I personally think I see the rumors for the iWatch, but there's been rumors for iWatch forever. There was rumors of an Apple TV, the iTV TV set, an actual TV. That rumor has been going around since the iPhone 5.
Yeah,
and it hasn't happened. The thing is, I think people are starting to imagine or come up with these rumors of Apple coming out with these devices, but the fact is, that's the old Apple. That's the aggressive Apple. I don't see it. I would love to see it, because...
And that's why everyone gets disappointed whenever Apple releases something now, is because they have these high hopes.
Like the iPad Air, we were expecting that back when the iPad 4 came out.
Yeah.
That was the aggressive Apple.
Yeah, going back to the Apple TV rumors, I would actually, you know, I would love to see what they would do with that, because, you know, you look at their bigger screens, the iMac, you know, what they're going with now, it's a beautiful, nice display. If they were just to make that larger and a TV. The way they look, like a silver TV. I know Samsung a while back. I think it was Samsung. They tried to do that. It was like a silvery metal kind of TV. I don't know.
Smart TV, yeah.
I mean, it looked really nice too. If Apple were to would have gone with that, I don't know if they would be okay now going with that. But if they would have gone with that a while ago, that would have been pretty amazing.
Yeah, it would have. So it's gonna be interesting. That's the thing. Let me put it this way: Google right now, they remind me of kind of, and Ben, don't get mad here, but the old Apple, as in with the aggressive approach.
That is in no way an insult.
I mean, but if you look at it, Google is getting very aggressive.
Yeah.
Very aggressive, and that's how Apple was.
A $229 tablet with a quad-core processor, a $35 streaming dongle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's aggressive.
Yeah, and not just that, the purchase of Motorola, in which they sold, but still, what they did with Motorola...
Bad memories.
Yeah, what they did with Motorola, though, they put Motorola back in business.
Yeah. I'm half excited to see what happens out of Motorola now. Mm-hmm. They're with Lenovo, but it's kind of bad. After that happened, I've been thinking. Before that happened, I was nonstop thinking, what's gonna happen out of the next Moto X? Mm-hmm. Earlier today, if you guys are following us on our social networks, you've noticed that we've been doing these questions every day. I did a question, what phone do you want this year? I listed the iPhone 6, the HTC One M8, the Galaxy S5, and the next Nexus phone. I forgot about the Moto X. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I
think I just don't remember them anymore.
I thought about it.
Quick.
Yeah,
I was actually wondering why you didn't put that, but
yeah. It's one of those things. I guess I think Google had a lot to do with the appeal of Motorola in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I was appealed to Motorola just because it was a Google company.
Yeah.
So in a way, I could kind of see that affecting
Motorola. I always kind of liked Motorola.
Mm-hmm. I could still see them doing well, though.
Oh, yeah.
I could still see them doing well. And their CEO, follow him on Google+. He seems like a really cool guy, the way he interacts with his followers and everything, and Motorola seems aggressive in a way. They do. So it's going to be
definitely are.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and that as we see these companies such as Motorola, I'll put this kind of in top companies for me: T-Mobile, Motorola, Google. But my top two right now have to be T-Mobile and Google. Now you're probably wondering, why am I saying T-Mobile? T-Mobile is getting aggressive.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it is, because they are just beyond aggressive on what they are doing.
That I think it was one of the ads they had. They didn't even hire actors. It was just text on a screen.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The whole will break up with your company for you.
Yeah.
And pay off your contract. That's a bold statement for T-Mobile. What they're saying is, they basically have enough money now. Is they just want you and your business. And they want, you to just give them, because, I think it's one of those things. People are so focused on Verizon a lot of the time, because Verizon has those commercials where they're they haven't shown, I don't think they've shown any recently, but they're we have the best coverage, blah, 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 compared to
they
AT&T.
still have those all the time.
And they do have amazing, just beyond amazing coverage.
I think the way it is, Verizon has the best coverage, T-Mobile has the best speeds, and they're the best company.
Yeah.
AT&T is kind of like the middle ground, and Sprint's just horrible.
Sprint shouldn't even be listed there.
Yeah, well, like you're saying, T-Mobile, it isn't just about coverage, which is what Verizon is doing now. It's also, a lot of it is speed. T-Mobile is a great company to be with, especially if you live in a city. Mm-hmm. If you don't go out to rural areas, I know a lot of the times it will be out in those kind of areas. So that's where Verizon comes in handy. But Verizon has good coverage, but it's slower. It's a lot slower. So, I'm
sitting here kind of still crying, though, because you're slow to you guys. It's crazy, crazy fast for me here at Sprint.
No, Alex, Verizon's 3G is painful.
It is painful.
I don't know if it's more painful than the Sprint though. Sprint 3G is like it's like non-existent data.
I had Verizon 3G when I'm at work and I actually have 3G coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I get like 0.6 download and like 0.001 upload.
You know what? That's
and
fine.
That's if I even get the speed test to work.
Yeah, I've gotten full bars 3G and my speed test doesn't work sometimes. So it's kind of, I guess, Sprint and Verizon are the same 3G wise, but you know, this is again kind of going. Seems like we got into the subject of companies growing, but one thing that I'm noticing is Radio Shack. That Super Bowl commercial. Was anyone else intrigued by Radio Shack Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, definitely.
That was awesome.
I was like, and you know what's funny? When the commercial started, I'm like, okay, why are we at Radio Shack? I did not even realize that was staged in the 80s. The theme they were going for in the background. I'm looking at it like a regular Radio Shack.
Yeah,
and I realized.
I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You know, you walked in the Radio Shack, you don't get that feel. Like, you know what the Apple Store is going for. Yeah. They're going for modern, you know, this huge kind of aspect where the future is now. Kind of, I guess if you could put that in a quote, you would. But
that's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're going for with the glass front and everything. And you go to Radio Shack, I know this may be not the best example, but if I go to the mall, you know, a lot of malls will have Radio Shack in them. I go in there, and I'm not really intrigued by what they have. They have their small little table with the plastic phones that they're showcasing. And in the back, they have some electronics. It's nothing really big, you know.
Old cables, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see. I don't know if they actually started remodeling or if they just got done with it in order to make the commercial. But next time I see a Radio Shack, I'll go check it out.
Yeah, I think that'll probably take a little while. They're gonna probably start remodeling that. But for me, if they get competitive with their prices, and that's another company I'm gonna say keep an eye out is Radio Shack, because I feel like they're gonna be like that next T-Mobile. I'm not gonna say Google, but in the aggressive aspect, Google.
Yeah, I would like to see that. If they do that, I will stop buying so much stuff from Amazon.
Yeah, I think I would actually visit them. They need to do a match competitors' pricing, I think, in order to really get aggressive with it, because their prices are kind of high. So
yeah.
So kind of switching, we kind of went off track here, talking about competitive companies.
Completely off track.
Yeah, completely off track. One thing Ben and I were talking about earlier is, are small tablets becoming redundant?
That's a hard topic.
That is a hard topic, but that's why I want to do it, because it's an awesome topic.
I think they are. I think in a way they will be, and I kind of realized that today.
I'm going to do that from personal experience, too.
Well, okay. What I was saying earlier, what I was saying earlier is phones are becoming tablets.
Mm-hmm.
I think they won't be considered small tablets anymore. They'll be considered phones.
Exactly. That's what we were saying. Yeah.
They'll be considered phones, and I mean, I love the size of an iPad Mini. I love how I can still hold it in my hand, but I don't want to put it up to my face for a phone call.
Yes, I have the iPad Mini, the first gen. Of course, what's killing me right now is the fact of the display. I don't like it.
I think this is literally the first time in history, and this will probably never happen again, that my stuff is better than Alex's stuff.
I'm not.
I have a 1080p phone, a 1080p tablet, the awesome laptop, and I finally got a good microphone. So my stuff is better than his stuff for the next month.
I'm not really out for a bunch of good stuff. I just like a good experience, and the iPad Mini is bringing that for me. It helps me get by on the things I need. But I look at the fact of, you look at phones and they're getting bigger, and then it's coming to the point where I'm like, I was telling Ben earlier, it's like I think I'd just rather have an iPhone 6 and an Nexus 5.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Also, where's the limit with big tablets too? You know, there's always a certain point where you will hit how big is too big. You know?
I just hope iPad Pro does not happen.
I do want that to happen. Remember, first podcast, remember what I was saying? Dual boots, OS X and iOS, I want that to happen.
If that did happen, yes, but if it's just a regular iPad Air called the iPad Pro, with no. See, I don't see Apple getting that aggressive. That's why I'm kind of like I couldn't see it happening. If it does, then I'm all for it. But if we're just looking at a 12-inch tablet, it's like it's one of those things that's like I wouldn't rush out to buy.
Quick question. What's the biggest tablet that there is out now? Do you guys know?
I think that's the Pro line, right?
Well,
right, Ben?
it depends on your definition of tablet, I guess. If you're looking at Android tablets, then yeah, it's probably the Galaxy Note Tab Pro or Note Pro or whatever the one is, the 12 inches.
Because I'm looking at the 12.2-inch one right now. I'm just wondering if that's a huge tablet.
It is massive.
Yeah, definitely. So I just want to see how much bigger that will be, how it kind of works out, and how it plays. How well it performs. But I'm liking where Samsung is going. I'm excited to see how the Note Pro 12.2 will be. But the thing, I was looking at the article that I wrote, and I'm kind of wondering. It is a better tablet. The specs, technically, it is a better tablet than the iPad. But some people don't seem to realize that Android is definitely growing. Android is definitely getting up there. So maybe people might not want to pay an extra $100, but I'm excited to see what it can do, because I know this is going back to when I was, strictly Apple. But now I'm starting to kind of see that Android. I tested Android when it was kind of beta-ish. It was just starting up, but now what I'm looking at, I really do like. So I'm still excited about these tablets coming out from Android.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by. I know this is going to sound crazy because of my comments on the Galaxy S5 earlier, but I am intrigued by the Pro line. I am by their the Galaxy Notes, because I don't know. Samsung seems to be getting aggressive in the tablet area.
I think actually, there's someone I know, not personally, but through Google Plus I know him. He works at Samsung, and he said that Samsung is really putting a heavy focus on the tablet space, and kind of, I guess they feel they're at a pretty good point in the mobile space, which I guess is kind of true when you own.
Yeah, they have a lot of phones out there, especially coming out with the S5. So.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what Samsung does in the future with their tablets, and also Android in general. I'm interested to see, especially Google, what they do tablet-wise. Now I know we have the Nexus 10. We hopefully soon will see a refresh of.
I wouldn't count on anything until
I'm thinking June.
Right. Probably June.
Yeah,
maybe a little earlier, because it's been such a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The same thing as we saw, kind of same event where we saw a year ago we saw the new Nexus 7 and 2013 model. Look at me, I'm using Apple quotes. Excuse me, I'm so sorry for Google fans that are listening. I called it the new Nexus. We saw the second gen Nexus 7, and then we also saw the Chromecast. So I'm wondering, maybe this year could we see a Nexus 8 and a Nexus 10?
I want that to be real, but at the same time, I don't want to see the Nexus 7 go away, because it's a great form factor.
True.
I would love to see all three, but I don't see it happening. I'd say the small tablet is completely up in the air for Google. I would definitely say they're going to release a 10-inch. I can't see them giving that up.
Yeah, I hope they don't either.
And then I don't know if they would do a second Chromecast.
I don't think they would.
They might just keep adding on to the first.
Yeah, I think just keep adding on. Maybe a few years from now, do a refresh on hardware.
One thing I saw, and this was kind of interesting, when they released the SDK, there was a video along with it, and he never referred specifically to the Chromecast. He always said cast devices, which makes me think, maybe they're going to license it out to other manufacturers. Maybe they're going to make more of them. So
those are the details you kind of have to pay attention to, because those could have huge hints as to what's going on, in these companies and where they are headed. So I guess we just have to let time tell. Maybe there will be some leaks, hopefully we'll cover those.
It shocked me when the Chromecast came out. There was never a leak about it.
Really? Well,
There was not a single leak until like the day of. Somebody looked at the Google support website and it said Chromecast, and everybody's wondering what the heck is it, because there was nothing underneath it. It just said Chromecast.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's kind of like take a chance, especially because when people see leaks and they understand what a device is, they kind of build up excitement for it. They're kind of like, oh, well, if they might be adding on this, especially with the Chromecast, it has so much to offer. I mean, it's an all-around great additional device to have. People get excited for that, and they'll start to like, oh, well, maybe I will get it when it comes out, and they'll start to wonder when it comes out, as when something is like, oh, by the way, here's Chromecast. It's a great device. People don't yet know what it is, so right off the bat they might not want to buy it. But as time will just tell, because people will start to tell other people, and then the best advertisement would be social sites at that point.
Real quick, guys, I hate to end it here. I think we're going to go on a good hour, but I have to head out. So we're going to have to end this podcast here as it is. But next time we're going to talk about iOS apps versus Android apps. That's going to be one of our discussions, along with some further whatever news and things that go on between now and then. But
and I'm
anyway,
sure by next week there's going to be probably like 5 or 6 new Chromecast apps that I'm going to want to talk about.
Exactly. So I got to end it here, guys. But thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Give it a thumbs up. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Visit our website. We'll see you guys in our next podcast.
It is cold.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I got my Angry Bird sweater. Okay, let's see.
You have a Seminole sweater. I win.
Angry Bird's got sunglasses on. And Bad Piggies.
I'm still cold.